everything I'm doing now, I never wanted to do.
Okay.
I had no.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't want to
Isn't
do
that
it.
how it is?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
Most
never
people
wanted.
that are called didn't ask for it.
No, not at all.
They
You
just
know,
answered the
author,
phone.
speaker, didn't want to do
Wow.
it. Right,
It was God.
right,
Wow.
right. Kept hitting deny
Right.
on the line.
Hello,
but-
Eddie. It's me again.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere.
Hello, is it me you looking
Right.
for?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Come answer this phone.
Right.
This is not scam likely.
Right, exactly.
Go ahead. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for another episode of Talk Time with Inspirational Rob.
And my man E.
We're in the house. We're in the house. And as always, we get right to it. We got a special guest today, my brother, my friend. I even consider him a mentor. He's a little younger than me, but he's a man of wisdom, a man of culture, a man of style.
A little younger.
It was just he is a little bit younger. Yeah. Dr. Eddie Connor is in the house. Welcome, man.
Man,
The doctor's in the house.
The doctor is in the house. A real doctor is in the house. We call ourselves doctors, but he's an earned doctor, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Dr. Eddie's in the house. Welcome, man, to Talk Time with Inspirational Rob and E.
Welcome,
Man,
bro.
it's an honor, brothers.
Listen, you've done so many things in such a short amount of time. One thing I can talk about, you recently posted about your anniversary of being cancer free.
Yeah.
Man, I got to get in that. I posted today that pain is inevitable, but misery is a choice. How did you choose to have a message and not be miserable because of what cancer did?
That's good. That's good. And I was miserable.
Were you?
Yeah, I was very miserable for that 2-year ordeal.
What age was it again?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, sophomore in high school, and favorite 2 classes in school, gym and lunch. You know,
Right.
love to chase the girls at gym.
Recess
Sit
and
down
play,
and eat lunch.
right? Eat and play.
Right. And I'm having these chest pains, getting ready to play basketball, varsity, and I'm like, man, what's going on? And so, being lethargic, lazy in school, kind of sleeping in class, and that wasn't really like me.
Okay.
And my mom was like, yo, something's going on. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Pain is weakness leaving the body. As we say as guys. You know what I'm saying? And so my father's not there. And over at my friend's house watching a football game, can't breathe by halftime. And they have to take me to the hospital. They think it's a punctured lung.
Okay.
Take me to another hospital, and they cut me open to see my cells. It really just is a mass there.
Wow.
It's a tumor around my heart, trachea, esophagus, and I use my voice to speak.
Yeah.
And that's where the tumor was growing.
Yeah.
And so chemo, radiation, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 4 cancer.
Stage 4.
Stage 4.
What did that do to your psyche when they told you that?
I thought it was over.
Really?
I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get up out of here. It's done.
Wow.
You stage 4.
Stage 4.
What prognosis did they give you?
Well, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
NHL.
Okay.
I thought it was National Hockey League.
So
So
was that supposed to be terminal? Excuse my ignorance.
it was supposed to be.
Okay.
And the doctor was saying, hey, you know what? Probably a day or so, I could have probably been comatose.
Wow.
That's it. Because it was an aggressive form of cancer.
Okay.
And so they had to do radiation therapy, chemotherapy, lost all my hair, self-confidence, self-esteem. Father never visited me
At
one day in the
15,
hospital.
right?
Yeah, 15.
Man, that can mess you up.
Yeah, that'll mess you
That'll
up.
mess you up.
That mess you up, man.
And that's probably like a 6 to 8 month process during the treatments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely was even longer than that. It went about 2 years.
Wow.
Chemo radiation about 5 days a week. Out of school my sophomore year. It felt, as you talk about, the misery.
Yeah.
And I had to really encourage myself. Hey, if it wasn't for my mama, you know what I'm saying? My mama prayed for me.
Yeah, but thank
Had
God
me
for
on the
mama.
mind, you know. I shall not die, but live and declare the works of the Lord. So it's a blessing to find the can in cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Find the can in cancer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So
That's
so
good.
is that where your message began? Did you feel a call at that point, or how did that enhance that? Tell me about your journey.
Yeah, great question. The doctor said, hey, take Eddie on a vacation somewhere.
Okay.
That's what he told my mom. And I grew up in Jamaica. part of my life. Yeah, man, no
Really?
problem.
Oh, come on now.
Real thing, man.
Okay.
So now I'm starting to understand where that
Yeah,
whole
the-
persona came
yeah.
from. Okay, I got it.
Yeah,
that
man.
coolness,
Yeah.
that coolness. Okay, all right. Okay,
And
all
when-
right, I
and when
get
did you
it,
come
I get it,
here?
I get it.
Well, I was born here, but my parents were missionaries prior to their divorce to the island for a few years.
Okay, that's
Okay,
a nice
yeah,
way
so-
to be a place to be a
yeah.
missionary.
Yeah, right. My father's from the island, so
Wow.
you know I had the
Yeah.
accent and all that as a kid. You know, you acculturate real quick.
So you can
Okay.
do that. You can do that whole
Yeah,
accent
yeah.
thing.
They say I sound more Trini to the Jamaican ear.
So did you
Oh,
use
wow.
that as to your advantage with the ladies and that sort of thing?
Nah, man, it wasn't cool
He
then,
didn't
bro.
know how to-
They teased me out of
That's a good
accent.
point,
You know
though.
what I'm
That's a
saying?
good
I didn't know how to market it back then.
Nah, I know. That wasn't, Stella got a groove back, wasn't out there. So.
Wow. So your
Yeah.
journey began.
Yeah. It
Full
began
of pull, a tug.
the tug. So they took me. My mom took me to Jamaica, and I hadn't been there in about 10 years at that time, and so I knew the pastor there, and he told me like that week, I want you to give a sermon.
That week.
I'm like, yeah, that week,
Okay.
right.
You
That
talking
week.
about you talking about trial sermon.
Yeah, really.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, sermon.
And you
I never
15,
preached
16 at
before.
this
Right.
time.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm 15, 16. I remember my first message was destined to overcome the odds. I was literally preaching to myself.
Ooh.
Destined to
Yeah.
overcome the odds.
Yeah, I had the
Write that
bald
one
head.
down.
I was
Write that one down.
overweight due to the medication I was
Uh-huh.
on, and I got up and I was preparing the message the night before. You know how you wait the
Yeah.
night before.
Yeah. Can't sleep right.
Right. So I printed the message out. I had enough ink in the printer, and it came out in red.
Wow.
The
Okay.
whole message. I
Right.
said that means the blood covered me, man.
You
So-
start seeing the symbolism in that.
Exactly. And
Okay.
did the message. You know, it's probably terrible. You know what I'm saying?
In
15.
hindsight,
Somebody,
right.
right. Somebody
So-
got blessed though.
But right.
Who
So-
did you listen to back then? Anybody?
Jakes,
Okay.
McClendon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we all had our heroes.
Right,
you know, we like,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I first met Bishop McClendon. It was at a conference. I said, man, I was starstruck. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but yeah, I listened to those voices, and definitely helped me through it, and kind of crafted the message. And those people prayed for me right after I finished ministering.
Wow.
And hey, those prayers kept me and helped me, move into a place of healing.
Yeah. You're talking about a funny story, talking about trial sermons, man, real quick. I was, we did what we call preach practice. So we go in the basement, and Andre, you might know Andre too. We did that, and we sharpened each other's swords. So we preach practice. I'm in the basement, man. I got my pulpit was my ironing board, and I'm down there. So, Jones was hot back then. Jones still hot, but I'm down there. And God said, and so. So I taped it on the back of the camcorder and showing my age. I put it on TV, and I let them look at it. I was like, man, how I sound? He's like, you sound like a DeBarge.
A DeBarge. Wow.
Is that really your real phone number? Because I'm doing the whisper
Wow,
thing.
is that your phone
Yeah,
number?
are you gonna call me like you said you would? I was like, man, friends like that, you know.
Man.
But anyway, we
Right,
got
right.
past that.
Trial sermon.
Trial sermon.
Man.
But-
On trial. for
On
real.
trial.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let ball that up,
Right.
throw that away, and start over. But your message came out of that. Now
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
mentoring. How
Right.
did that transition go? You got young men that you're mentoring. And
Yeah.
you've written books to
Mm.
young men. Talk about that, and queens as well.
Right. The mentoring thing came out of me teaching. I taught school for 12 years. Some
Okay.
people say I was 12 years a slave. Teaching the young kids. And I think really the mentoring for me came out of what I didn't have. When I grew up, I didn't really have the father figure. When my father was present physically, he was absent
Mhm.
mentally,
yeah.
spiritually, socially, emotionally.
Wow.
And there were some surrogate mentors that came into my life. Thank God for that. Father figures, things of that nature. But really didn't have a lot of that. Didn't see a lot of that. It was
Mhm.
more bad examples than good ones.
Mhm.
And so I said, hey, you know what? I'm with these brothers and these kids, 8 to 3 every day. And I need to really hone in a little bit more with the development for our young brothers. Oftentimes when these boys open books, they close their eyes. And so prisons are built on 2nd and 3rd grade reading scores, not just the school to prison pipeline, preschool to prison pipeline.
Mhm.
So I said, let me connect boys and books and bring in the sports that they like. And I wasn't waving books down the hall like
Right,
y'all. No, I
right.
was hitting them with the hip hop. with the sports and all that. Hey, we got free pizza. They coming in. And so made connections, developed a lot of positive relationships. And even still to this day, I run into a brother at the Pistons game or something like that. Yo, Connor, I wasn't really listening to you then, but everything you said, man, I appreciate it.
Wow.
So, that mentorship piece, very, very important. Life teaches you in two ways, mistakes and mentors. Better for them to learn from a mentor's mistakes than to make their own.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead. Okay.
So we say a lot of times that father has to be in the home, and
right.
we all want that, right?
Right.
But a lot of times, and I heard you say something here. A lot of times, I think a father can be in the home and yet be absent.
Mm.
And how did that affect you? And how can a lot of these young kids that have a father in the home, but he's absent, how do they navigate that? Because obviously you did.
Yeah, great question. The presently absent fathers is a serious thing. One of the things I think is just having conversations with these brothers, about just real life and real talk, and allowing them to express themselves, because vulnerability and masculinity oftentimes can't coexist in the same space. Oftentimes that vulnerability is seen as femininity, and masculinity is the prefix is mask.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so it's okay for men to cry.
It is. We don't just cry in the dark. Sometimes we cry in the light, and we cry through our actions.
Mm-hmm. Did your father? You see your father cry?
Never seen him cry before. I must say that I've never seen him cry. I mean, one of the toughest cats ever. I don't even think I ever heard him cough before. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
But we say that, right? Men don't cry,
right,
whatever else. Yeah. But I think that boys need to see that.
Yeah.
That their dads are human and they're vulnerable.
And then we're emotional.
Yeah.
We just haven't been, like you say, we haven't been taught to convey our emotions, and oftentimes in a positive aspect.
Right.
May come out through anger or
anger.
Or
right.
We'll get into the relationship piece on part 2, because you got a whole relationship piece about men, dialogue and all that stuff. But
But I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to, that being that example, absent but present but absent.
Yeah.
I guess that is a thing, right?
Yeah, it is a thing, because a lot of times, even us as men, we don't know how to translate those lessons to the sons, because we dealing with stuff on our own.
Come on.
Nobody taught us. So hey, just
we pass it down.
Right. Just pass it down.
Yeah. So what would you say our young men are missing? What do they need more so than ever? If we're talking to the audience out there, to parents that need help.
I think the first thing is being present. None of us are perfect, but being present makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And having an attentive ear, more than what we're saying, they're focused on what they're seeing. The modeling aspect.
Yeah.
They don't imitate what we say; they imitate what we do.
Yeah.
And so, being present, having a listening ear, and then being able to share our mistakes, and our life lessons.
That's tough though, man. Because who wants to show their vulnerability? Who wants to be Clark Kent? We want to be Superman.
Exactly.
So how do I display that and not come off as soft or effeminate or
weak?
Yeah. There you go. Just weak.
Right. I think one thing is this is I think establishing relationships and getting a vested interest in what our brothers are interested in, versus saying, hey, this is what y'all need to do, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. No, let me find out what is it that's interesting to you.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you want to do 10 years from now?
Yeah.
I've been where where do you want to do? Where do you see yourself going?
Yeah.
And then with that, being able to provide some needed interest. I found out my brothers would listen to me when I made it a serious attempt to make sure that they were straight.
Wow.
Make sure that, hey, this is, what's going on in your home.
That's good.
Taking a vested interest in them, and they seeing, he's real authentic. He's real serious about this thing.
Right.
Because it's, they're used to people coming in and out of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And actually having that consistency opens them up.
I like that.
To development for positive relationships. Yeah.
You talk about mentors and mistakes. We don't have to make as many mistakes if we have a mentor.
That's
How
true.
big is that?
Man, it's serious, man.
I wish I'd had
you know?
one earlier because I didn't know the magnitude of that. But just speak to that, man.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. George Fraser said, once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community.
Now you got to slow it down. Slow that down for the people in the back. And I'm in the back. Say what Dr. Fraser said again.
Once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community. Being able to stand on the shoulders of giants and, understand that, hey, you don't have to blaze your own path. Let somebody be able to lead you. A know-it-all really knows nothing at all. And so,
Socrates said, "I'm the wisest man on earth."
Right.
Because I realized that I know nothing.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I
might have to quote Plato, but
there you go, philosophers.
I'm coming. Hold on, but now he got the floor.
Yeah, man.
So who were some of your mentors? I know you mentioned Jason Bishop McClendon,
right.
But some of your personal mentors.
Yeah, definitely my grandfather. God rest his soul. He told me this, Eddie. You never have to tell anybody how good you are. If you're good at what you do, they'll tell you.
I love it.
I'm still in touch with my principal from high school. I was just on the phone with him. We chop it up, talk about marriage, children, relationships, sports.
Yeah.
I was just talking to him just the other day, and he helped me during my rough time with cancer. A principal of thousands of kids at school, checking on me, coming up to the hospital.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, principal.
Man,
that's unheard of. Yeah. So he definitely just wasn't a principal. He lived his life on principle. You know what I'm saying? And so then another one, Mr. J. Melton, a businessman. Okay. He's out in Ypsilanti. Has his own cleaners, but he heard me at a speaking engagement some years ago, and just put his arm around my shoulder, took a vested interest in me.
Ypsilanti is right outside of Detroit. From
right.
International audience.
Right, where I went to college at Eastern Michigan.
Eastern, okay, all right, Huron.
Yeah, right. Huron Eagles. Yeah. So those three, and then I have to say as well, brothers who didn't look like me. Okay. Two particular white men. One was Mr. Cantor, and in high school, I told you my favorite two classes with Jim at lunch. My math scores were indicative of that. You know what I'm saying? I was focused on different shapes, and he's telling me, you need to be focused on this geometrical shape.
Right.
So, he helped me through geometry, and I was literally fell in that class, and I stayed after school, and he would mentor me and teach me. And then another white man, Mr. Wenham, he took me to my first baseball game when I was wearing a baseball cap because I didn't want to show my head because I lost all my hair. All those things. And I mean, even Kobe Bryant signed a hat for me.
Nice.
Prior to his when he was wearing number 8.
Man.
Okay.
Caps for kids.
Still got that?
I still got the cap.
Oh man.
Got the number 8 on
it.
That right.
How much does that sell for?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Now that's
man.
That's serious. But you talk about the two brothers that didn't look like you.
Right.
So I think there's a message to all of us. Don't sleep on a brother just because he might be a different color.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's good.
Don't sleep on it.
That's good.
Because you can get something.
You can get something. You don't have to look like me to fight for me. Just get in the fight with me.
See, he messing us up.
Why? You don't have to look like me.
You don't have to look like me. To what now?
To fight for me.
To fight for me.
Just get in the fight with me.
Just get in the fight.
Because I think sometimes, especially in this climate, right?
Yeah.
This demarcation point. Either you're on this side, you're black or you're white, whatever.
Yeah.
But my mama taught me the same thing that what you just said. Just you don't have to look like me.
Yeah.
And so can you speak to that just for 1 second? Yeah. How that's important that's important. That whole thing, you don't have to look like me to fight with me, whatever.
Yeah. Color. Beyond color, character. And that really changed my perspective. Because you growing up all black community, and you automatically thinking you're pariah and a predator, and you wondering how you're dealing with the white gaze of how people view you.
Right.
And that really opened me up to say, wow, it really is. There really are good people in the midst of a racist world, and people vindictive and vile and all that stuff, vitriolic. There are really good people other than people who are just in your community, who really want the best for you.
And them brothers, those white guys, they wanted the best for you.
They did.
White.
They did. Right.
That's good.
They did.
Was there an epiphany? Because we come to the end of this segment. Was there a moment when you decided this is who you wanted to be? Was there an epiphany? You know, was it a dream, or when did you leave a 2-part question? The epiphany, and then when did you decide I'm gonna do this full time?
Good question. Everything I'm doing now, I never wanted to do.
Okay.
I had no.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Isn't that how it is?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Most people that are called didn't ask for it.
No, not at all.
They just answered the phone.
Speaker didn't want to do it.
Wow.
Right,
It was
right,
God.
Wow.
right. Kept hitting deny on the line.
Hello, Eddie. It's me again.
Right.
I'm not going anywhere.
Hello, is it me you looking
Right,
for?
yeah. I'm waiting for you. Come answer this phone.
Right.
This is not scam likely.
Right, exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I was in my dorm at Eastern with $1 and a dream to my name in a dorm room.
Okay.
And my mom kept telling me, "Hey, you got to write your story." I'm like, I don't want to tell nobody I had no cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Were you ashamed?
Yeah, I was ashamed of it. I was
Okay.
ashamed of having that struggle at such a young
Yeah,
age and being a black kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And when you're in that cancer
Painful
ward,
time.
yeah,
It's a
painful time.
Yeah.
When you're in cancer ward, you don't see anybody who looks like you. You know, and generally, if they do, they're about 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
So it was tough for me to even write it out. And then as I was writing, I was healing. You know, I had the bitterness towards my father and the people who I thought were praying for me, but were praying on me, sitting on the sideline, expecting my demise. You know, the tears that were pent up were flowing on the pages. You know what I'm saying? And so it was a therapeutic process. You know, with your book, you know, I'm sure is a place of healing, and you opened up certain vaults, you know, in your heart and in your life that
you wrestled. Should I put this in there?
Right.
Yeah,
man. So I said, all right, I did what I didn't feel like doing. But sometimes what you do, what you're doing that you don't feel like doing becomes the greatest blessing. That really pushed me into my purpose. Hey, it was painful, but this is purposeful.
And so when did you leave officially the educational field to come into the mentorship and the entrepreneur space?
Yeah.
And the business space?
Yeah, you know what? I was juggling all at one time. It took about 12 years, for real.
That's a lesson.
Yeah, because, you know, building your infrastructure out is not an overnight process.
Come on, talk about
it. You got to literally juggle your job, your dream and your job until your dream becomes your job.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
People need to hear that.
Yeah. And then people think, oh, well, I'm seeing everybody is making 6 figures, a CEO on social media. That's a lie.
Instagram will fool you.
Right. Everybody on Instagram a millionaire.
Filters.
Right, filters. That's
over their story and over their face.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
You know, you juggling entrepreneurship and you dealing with what your job is too. And so, you know, generally when people go to the happy hour after the job and all the teachers get together, I'm headed back to the crib. I'm working on my next book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have a vision beyond just the
Yeah.
four walls and 8 hours a day. And I began to just save, budget, do this, that, and the other until it became the place where, all right, I can go, you know. And ironically, it was just a couple of years before COVID hit.
Oh, timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even see that was coming, but.
Okay, you gotta hold that. Because we gotta go. We coming back though. Go
I want to
ahead.
say this, man. You are a young man.
Yeah.
And have a
Just a few years younger than me.
Black don't crack.
with the legitimate, doctorate degree.
Yeah.
You've accomplished a lot. You've been everywhere. You've flown everywhere. You've met a lot of great people. You've been on all these shows and stuff like that. At your age, African American, born and raised in the city of Detroit, came out of all the stuff, come through the pandemic, and through this pandemic, you have so much to offer. And man, we're just honored to have you on this podcast. And man, I'm telling you, you're an amazing guy. But I also want to plug your book too.
Oh,
because this is my man. This is a book. This is his book. You guys got to get this.
So Amazon,
it's a devotional.
It's a devotional.
And
34
Eric,
lifestyle topics, and it has a confession in there for you. It has an action plan for you to start your day. There's a prayer in there for you. So again, the epiphany behind that was we always say good morning. We say things that we always hear.
Yeah.
But the epiphany was why does it have to be a good morning when it can be a great morning?
It could be a great morning.
So you can turn your good morning or your not so good morning into a great morning. But that's me. Amazon.
I'm gonna have you get this to you gonna sign
I'm sign that for Dr.
You
Connor.
give it to Dr. Connor.
Absolutely. And this is his spot. Tell us where we can find you. Tell us about the books. Tell us about everything before we close out this segment.
Absolutely. You know, Revolution not only be televised, it'll be digitized.
Come on.
People can connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at EddieConnorJr. Put some respect on my name. EDDIE. EDDIE.
Junior.
CONNORJR. Yeah, Junior.
Okay.
You too?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So Eddie Connor Jr. Then we got the academy going on. Focus on faith, identity, relationships, financial empowerment, speaker training, dreddieacademy.com, and all the books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, Audible.
You the real deal, bro.
Real deal. Dr. Eddie Connor. You've heard it here. Talk time with Inspirational Rob
and E.
We coming back because we got to get into some relationship stuff and some financial stuff. You know, that's what we need in this day. We don't just need faith-filled stuff, but we got to put our faith in action. So stay tuned for part 2. We'll be right back on our next episode of Talk Time with Inspirational Rob
and E.